Here we go again. Oh my goodness. So sure enough, once reparation talks start becoming more prevalent in the media, you're always going to have these Sambos who get their marching orders. And I want you to understand the existence of these people is in and of itself proof of this systemic racism that we're dealing with. It's actually proof of why reparations are even more needed. Every other group of people have managed to exploit this community and have these Sambos speak out against their own. Okay, I'm unaware of white people using Asians to speak poorly against Asians, of Hispanics using white people to speak poorly of white people. I'm unaware of this. It seems like we're the main group that everyone likes to exploit to try and belittle and deride us. But nevertheless, what I'm referring to is this individual who is running for Minnesota governor. You have Kendall, Qualls, whatever his name is. And he's talking about, he wrote out in a New York Post, talking about, hey, black people don't need reparations, they need fathers. And I'm like, oh, let me guess, you must be a Republican. Let me guess, you must be a Republican. Okay, that's easy to spot a Republican. Now, if he had said black people don't need reparations, they need to be less misogynistic or less homophobic, then I'm like, that's a Democrat. I already know. It's very easy, okay? It's very easy to know who is paying these individuals. I'm reading this article, right? Because I'm like, okay, let's hear how he reasons this. And the thing is, he doesn't. He just says, hey, you want to know what the issue is? Dependency on welfare and fathers not in the families. And I'm like, this is what irritates me, right? Because he's not speaking as a black man, right? He's not speaking as a black man. He's speaking as a white man. That's what he's doing. Because you want to know why? He represents the GOP. The GOP is majority white people. White people have certain stereotypes and certain beliefs about black people and their grievances, especially when it comes to reparations. The welfare, the black families, fatherless homes and all that. That's what they believe. So in order for him to run as a Republican, what is he doing? He's repeating what white ignorants want to hear, because in Minnesota, of all places, those are the people who are going to be voting for him. That in itself is a system, all right, that its bedrock is anti-blackness at its root, okay? At its root. He's coming out and saying all this foolishness, and he's giving examples, right? He's giving examples of welfare programs. I'm like, first off, black people aren't even the majority when it comes to welfare programs. Majority, guess, white ignorance. That's who. That's the crazy part. Furthermore, the irony of you talking about we don't need reparations and then juxtaposing that with social welfare programs is mind-blowing to me. And this is once again another issue with the systemic anti-black racism, because they will have low IQ individuals such as this man. I'm going to argue based off the arguments that he presented in the paper. You have low IQ individuals like this who they don't mind as long as they're feeding them what they want to hear. They don't mind if they're as dumb as rocks, as long as they're telling the white audience or white ignorant audience what they want to hear. And that is disgusting, because what they want to hear is anti-black rhetoric. And sure enough, there is a black face that will feed it to them, and they'll pay for it. Unfortunately, that's how the system of this political arena works when it comes to black Americans. Then we go over as far as the single parent household. He's like, oh, over 80%, which is not 80%, it's 77%, but whatever, 80% are of a single parent. Listen, one thing people need to understand, please, it's so frustrating. Please stop conflating marital status with an absentee father. Those are not the same thing. That is honestly the dumbest thing on the face of the planet. Furthermore, once again, already been debunked, already been discussed, right? Black fathers are the most active in their families. Just because there's not a ring on it doesn't mean the man is not present. This conflation of the two is mind-boggling. And I mean, it's not really, because it's pretty much a talking point that white ignorants love to use in order to overlook the actual systemic root of many of the problems, the actual systemic root of the family, nuclear family, of when it comes to education. Because he talks about education. Oh, black kids aren't learning at this rate and yada, yada. All of this has to do, at the end of the day, has to do with finances, okay? What slavery was about was money. That's what it was about. It's about money off the backs of people. That is what it was about. There have already been people, Dr. Darity, you have Dr. Claude Anderson, there have already been people who have done a copious amount of research and data regarding reparations, regarding the wealth gap limit. Like this whole concept, if you just work hard and lift yourself up by the bootstrapping, that's not the case. That's not the case. But once again, you have these white ignorants who do not want to address that. They'll address everyone else in the room, but one group of people. And that's been historically the case. Things are going to change, and they're going to change really fast. Just keep your head on a swivel, because what is going to be happening, if you haven't seen it already, is that a lot of these white ignorants are going to be galvanized by their, their talking heads, by the Sean Hannitys, by the Tucker Carlson, by the ignorants on these networks. And they're going to make them feel like they're being victimized. As humorous as that may sound, they're going to make them feel like they're under attack. And if we can see from January 6th, if you think there will not be a backlash, if you think that these individuals, these ignorants, will not behave like the savages they are, you are out of your mind. Because the ignorant group, okay, it's a very dangerous group of all races. Very, very dangerous group. So you got to be smarter. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Whether or not you believe Lucas, he's absolutely correct, okay? Y'all just lazy, all right? You're just lazy. If you just work hard, lift yourself up by the bootstraps, you'll be fine. Or if you happen to believe, I find it absolutely ironic that you have the temerity to come from a lineage of evil, to come from a lineage where your ancestors got their claim to fame, got their resources, their wealth off of the backs of individuals that they thought were cattle, okay? To turn around and tell those descendants of those individuals that you're lazy. That's wild to me. That's just, my mind is completely blown. Nevertheless, if you happen to disagree with this video, well, you're more than welcome to call in during Disagreement Day, which are typically held Friday through Sunday. There'll be a number on screen. You call in, we duke it out. Either or. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. Those are not the same thing.